Hi, I'm Steve Sample with Bama Talk. Don't miss a single episode of Bama Talk Show, available now on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app, and on the web at bigbrainsmedia.com.
This is your Weather Extreme video for Saturday, March the 2nd. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in. And before I forget it, a shameless plug for the Helena Bells Masquerade Ball this evening at the Helena Civic Center. If you don't have tickets, I'm sure they're available at the door. Should be a fun evening from 7 to 10 p.m. this evening, and it's a great cause benefiting the Helena Bells Scholarship Fund. Trussville Skycam shows that we do have a deck of clouds over much of central and north Alabama this morning. However, if you do go to the south and you get down to the Mobile area, there's Dauphin Island looking out over the entrance to Mobile Bay, and indeed, clear skies down there. The upper low is moving across the southeastern U.S., and with it, we're getting a little bit of a snow event occurring. It's a fairly light snow event. No major warnings or anything like that in effect, and no major accumulations expected as the snow remains very, very light. And we're dealing, of course, in the upper atmosphere with a deep trough in the upper atmosphere, closed low, and that trough will be swinging across the southeastern U.S. today. So that means that we should be seeing an end to the precipitation by this afternoon. Very, very cold across much of the country. As you can see, all the blue area basically are temperatures freezing or below, and very cold up there in the north central U.S., minus 11 along the Canadian border, but a lot of single-digit values there in parts of Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the eastern half of the Dakotas. No single-digit values around here, and temperatures are actually relatively uniform, as we see most readings between about 34 and 36, with a few snow flurries being reported. Snow is very hard to detect with radar because the particles are very small, but we are seeing at least a little bit, so you can see a few flurries from time to time. On the bigger radar picture, it's really hard, and about the only thing that's really showing up is up there in the vicinity of Nashville. Winter weather advisory still in effect till noon for central Alabama, with a dusting, perhaps as much as a quarter to a half inch on the grassy areas. But I think things are not going to, there's not going to be any significant travel issues for us to deal with. And the cyan and darker blue colors over the southeastern U.S. and Georgia and over Louisiana are freeze watches and warnings. And then we have a few winter weather advisories in the northern Rockies. Precipitation for the next 5 days is going to be relatively light. Of course, with the snow event, we're not going to see much in the way of liquid equivalent, but the big event for us in the next 5 days comes Monday night and into the day Tuesday, and it looks like a quarter to a half inch is probably likely to be the amounts. Storm Prediction Center is not outlooking any organized severe thunderstorms through day 3, but day 3 we are looking at the possibility that we might hear a little bit of thunder. There's a quick look at the satellite image, the infrared satellite image over the southeastern U.S., and indeed you can see that we do have a good deal of clouds. Maybe we'll see a peek at the sun from time to time, but I think that the sun doesn't return really until tomorrow. There's the 06 EGFS model run, and there's the trough coming by. As it swings by today, that should end our precipitation chances, and you can see from the thickness values, the 540 line that we use is kind of a demarcation of the cold air, the 540 line all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico, and actually the central Gulf of Mexico. The trough moves by and moves off the east coast on Sunday, and as it does, of course, that puts us in a strong northwesterly flow, so another cold day for Sunday. Monday, the ridge moves in, so we warm up, actually, believe it or not. We go from like 46 on Sunday to 60 on Monday. Isn't that wonderful that we can do that so quickly? And another system diving into the north-central U.S. in the vicinity of the northwestern portion of South Dakota, and that's going to dive across the central U.S. into the southeastern U.S. As a surface low develops over Oklahoma. The closed low and trough dive into southern Missouri on Tuesday, and so that sets the stage for a surface low to move across the mid-south area and drag a cold front through the southeastern U.S., so I expect the best chance of rain to come probably very late Monday evening and into much of the day on Tuesday. By afternoon, we should be seeing the precipitation ending from the west. That closed low and trough move over toward the eastern portion of North Carolina, and as it does, of course, that returns the flow to a northwesterly pattern for us, and so we chill down once again. And you can see the thickness values not nearly as cold as this one, but we will get down at least into the vicinity of freezing by Wednesday morning, and we're probably going to be only in the 50s on Wednesday, even with the sunshine. That trough moves off, and the ridge, the upper ridge, builds in quickly for us, so we should begin warming up Thursday. The ridge builds stronger on Friday, so that should be a warmer day yet. And then on Saturday, we're still under that ridge. So right now, it looks like the weekend's going to start off nice, but we do have that strong closed low and a very deep trough coming across the northern reaches of Mexico. And so that is likely to bring our next weather system into our area probably on Monday. Now, looking out into Voodoo Country, there's a look at that system on Monday, March 11th. It looks like that'll be a wet day for us as that swings by the area. But we get back under a really big ridge by the 15th, according to the GFS. And interestingly enough, it could be a somewhat of a wet pattern for us because a southwesterly flow usually brings moisture out of the Pacific. And that southwesterly flow continues with a strong ridge all the way out to the end of the period around the 17th and 18th of March. So maybe a little bit of a lull in at least the cold weather, but could be a continuation of wet weather. Well, thanks for tuning into the Weather Extreme video. I expect to have the next one posted first thing on Sunday morning. In the meantime, I hope that your Saturday is a good one. And don't forget the Helena Bells Masquerade Ball this evening, 7 to 10 p.m. Have a great day and Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.